You read the title right. The countdown to monthly episodes begins. Welcome to the Pharmacist's Voice podcast, where we talk about pharmacy topics and careers. I am your host, Ohio pharmacist Chem Newlove. This is episode 342, and you can find the show notes on thepharmacistvoice.com. Starting on January 23rd, 2026, this show will become a monthly show instead of a weekly show. I love podcasting and I love doing the show every single week, but I have other opportunities and I'm ready to pursue them. I also host a local podcast, and that publishes every single week, same day as this one, every Friday. And I could really use some extra bandwidth to keep that one going until it ends on July 3rd, 2026. That's right. My local podcast is ending next July in less than a year. Why end that show, you might be wondering? It's because when I launched it in July of 2023, it had a 3-year expiration date. That podcast is a service project slash hobby podcast, and ending it was always part of the original plan. What's the name of the podcast? It is called the Perrysburg Podcast. I live in a small town in Northwest Ohio called Perrysburg, and the Perrysburg Podcast is a resource for Perrysburg residents. We talk about what's in Perrysburg and why people like to live here. The website is perrysburgpodcast.com. I'll have a link to that in the show notes on thepharmacistvoice.com. Essentially, I created a podcast about Perrysburg for Perrysburg residents, future and current. At this point, you might be wondering, Kim, what's next? What other opportunities are you ready to pursue? That's a great question. I will give you 3 examples. Opportunity number 1 is writing more. I wrote one book and I'm ready to write my second one. I'm actually currently writing a book about my experience as a local podcast host. I hope to finish it shortly after the Perrysburg podcast ends next July. And then after that, I would like to write even more books. I'm torn between writing a book about podcast production schedules or one about author read audiobooks. Go with what you know, right? Opportunity number 2. I would like to work with more audiobook and podcasting clients. For a few years now, I have been helping pharmacists narrate their own books. So it's called an author read audiobook. I would like to expand that service to encompass non pharmacists now, too. As you probably know, I've been helping people plan and launch podcasts as well. At first, I only worked with pharmacy people, but now I work with non pharmacists in addition. So people from all walks of life are welcome to contact me. Tell your friends. It's been going well, but what I'd like to do differently is add a concierge podcasting service to my business. The number one thing that every new podcaster I meet struggles with is audio engineering. I rock at audio engineering. I've been doing it, gosh, I've got 342 episodes of this podcast, more than 100 of the other. So I've got what, 400, almost 450 podcast episodes under my belt. I know what I'm doing. Since I rock at audio engineering, what I'd like to do is help other people record, edit, and produce their audio files. If you'd like to just step up to the mic and speak, I can help you out. If you need to add on episode artwork, show notes, and uploading everything to your media host, well, we can negotiate that as well. If you're interested in working with me, reach out through the contact form on my website, thepharmacistvoice.com. And finally, I'll tell you about opportunity number 3. I want to take better care of myself and my family. Ever since my friend Dr. Asha Pai Bohannon died suddenly in June of 2024, so just over a year ago, I have been thinking about slowing down. I would like to spend more time taking care of myself and my family. I told myself I was going to slow down when Asha died, and I haven't done it yet. So I need to disrupt myself and make it happen. And now feels like a good time. That's it for the short list of opportunities I want to pursue. There are others on the horizon, but I will stop there. Next, let's talk about what's on my 2026 production schedule. I am going from 52 episodes a year down to 12. This is going to be different. All right, let's start with the last weekly episode on my production schedule. January 23rd, 2026 will be my final weekly episode. That happens to be my 6 year podcast anniversary episode. I plan to do what I always do. I'll talk about stats, lessons learned, and what's next. I'll probably tell you about my 2026 vision board when we do the What's Next part of that episode. The February 2026 episode will be part of the Pharmacist Podcasters series. In March, I will have my annual poison prevention episode. April will be my annual Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month episode. May will be part of the Drug Pronunciation series. June will be part of the Pharmacist Authors series. That series has run for 3 summers straight. That'll be the fourth. July will be my summer update. I will talk about the finale of my other podcast, the Perrysburg podcast. I'll talk about progress on the book that I'm working on and more. August will be about author read audiobooks. Then in September, we'll be talking about drug names, either an interview with a branding company that comes up with drug names or part of the pronunciation series. I haven't decided yet. Then in October, it's American Pharmacists Month, so I will plan a topic about the profession of pharmacy. November will either be a men's health episode or an interview with a veteran pharmacist in honor of Veterans Day, which is November 11th every single year. And then in December, December's episode will be about pharmacist led smoking cessation programs. Many people try to quit smoking on January 1st. It doesn't always work out. So in December, it's a perfect time to talk about how pharmacists are successfully helping people stop smoking. If I counted right, I have 24 weeks until the monthly schedule kicks in. So until then, I will keep the pronunciation series going twice a month. I will publish some interviews and I will publish some solo episodes using ideas that I've sat on for years. It's time to finally open up the file and let those ideas out. Four of the topics that I've got coming up here are drug takeback, justice, compassion fatigue, and faith community discussions about addiction. I have a personal connection to each of these topics, so we'll talk about the topics and my connection to them when those come up here in 2025. Thank you so much for listening to my announcement about the countdown to monthly episodes here on the Pharmacist's Voice podcast. You can find the show notes on thepharmacistvoice.com. In the show notes, you will find a link to my other podcast, the Perrysburg podcast, my first book that I ever wrote, which is called Pharmacist Podcaster, a podcast planning guide for pharmacy professionals. You'll also find my social media links and more. I believe there's a link to my monthly newsletter. If you want to sign up, I will email you every month. Go ahead and reach out if you would like to work with me one on one about podcasting, audiobooks, drug pronunciations, a medical narration gig, or something else. Use the contact form on thepharmacistvoice.com. If you know someone who would like this episode, share it with them. And if you like this podcast, subscribe to or follow the Pharmacist's Voice podcast on your favorite podcast player and YouTube to get each new episode right when it comes out. Thanks so much for listening today. I'll talk to you next week.